Hello agents, and welcome back to another Division video. Now I don't usually comment on news, I'm usually all about the builds and the guides on this channel, but this information is too important to pass up. We've just had an update over on Reddit about the optimization station cost that is coming in the next patch, and it's getting a reduction of 75%. Now that is absolutely huge. Now, at the moment, I do agree that the optimization costs are way too expensive, and they really do lean towards the player that has a high SHD. So, for instance, if you look at my SHD level, it is 3412. So at the moment, and I'll put a link to the video down below, I've got a guide where you can essentially create a character, run through New York in a couple of hours, and then use all of your SHD materials from this bit in the scavenging section to upgrade any piece of gear. And that can even be if it's a mid-tier piece of gear, not very well rolled, and you can min-max that within a couple of hours. And that's obviously way quicker than trying to farm a god roll piece of gear. That god roll piece of gear in this game does not drop that often. And I've optimized over 20 pieces of gear now. Almost all of my builds are absolutely min-maxed to the teeth, and I don't need to farm that god rolled gear anymore. Do I think that clicking through menus should provide god roll gear? No, I do not. I'm not a fan of doing this, but it's the only way at the moment to get the best rolled gear, so my hands are tied. In the last state of the game, they did mention that the optimization station should only be for that last couple of percent. The costs reflect that you've been out, you've farmed, you've played the game, you've got a piece of gear and it's missing a percent on weapon damage perhaps. Use the optimization station, pay a hefty fee and it's min-maxed, and then you feel good about yourself. I feel with a 75% reduction, we're going to be left with the game on easy mode. And I know that might be an unpopular opinion, but especially for people over 2000 SHDs, they'll be able to min-max all of the gear within a week. I'm talking 15 loadouts. If you play the game on a daily basis, spend a couple of hours running through New York, you will be optimized within a very short period of time. And that's across 15 loadouts. Whether the gear be mediocre, only 50% rolled, as long as you get the stats in the right places, you'll be able to optimize to max really, really easily. Now I know that some people like that are a special case. 2000 SHD is a lot. I played the game for over 2,500 hours, I'm close to 3,000 hours in fact, and I know I'm a minority. So when I talk about people who are casual to the game and maybe are only 100, 200 or not even at 1,000 SHD yet, they're still going to have a really easy time. Because you think about the costs involved, we'll have a look right now. And we'll look at the optimization, and on this chest piece here, I've not finished optimizing this one. You can see that the maximum cost at the bottom is what it's going to be. So we can look at this one, that's only a very small cost. So that for that very small green percentage, if you reduce that by 75%, it's going to cost hardly anything. But when you get to the very last tier, the very last stage of optimization, you're going to need 300 chest pieces at the moment. Now that's a lot in combination with 150 flags, 90 fraction materials and 60 clipboards. It's a lot of materials. It's going to take you a very long time, especially if you've not got a character over 2000 SHD and you can't just run a couple of hours through New York. And I agree that this cost is unreasonable, but to reduce it by 75%, you're only then going to need 75 backpacks. Well, any targeted loot, open world, any multiplayer, 4-player content in the game, if you play for a couple of hours, you'll quite easily trash 75 chest pieces. Really, really easy. Which means even the casual players of the game that only play for a couple of hours a day will be looking at least a couple of upgrades a week themselves. Even maybe an upgrade a day. And at that point then, once everybody that plays for a very small amount of time has min-max gear or maybe just the 1 or 2 builds that they play with, people will stop playing the game. And at the moment there is no content on the horizon. We have no... The only thing we've got is the Resident Evil event, and that's an apparel event, and that doesn't interest a lot of people. It really interests me. I love Resident Evil, and I love The Division. But at the moment, we have no content on the scenes that we know we're going to be getting. No expansions, no extra missions, and nothing to actually grind for. So my issue with this, and maybe unpopular opinion, I think the reduction in cost by 75% is way too much. I think we're essentially enabling easy mode in the game, and that's unless they do some kind of level cap raise, they're going to do some kind of way we need to regrind all of our gear again, which I think again would be very, very unpopular at this point during the game's life cycle. I think essentially this is just going to drown out even the casual players, because they'll be done. They'll have nothing else left to do. I think it's just too low. I might be wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'm certainly do think this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that maybe a 25% to 50% reduction might have been okay. I think 75% is going in way too heavy-handed. But let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Come and check me out over on Twitch, and we can talk about it there as well. Twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. I stream there most days doing Division help. Check out all the links in the description down below. Give me a thumbs up if you can for that YouTube algorithm. It really does help me out. And subscribe to the channel for not Division news, but for much more like Division builds and guides and all good things like that. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.